Hi, and welcome to Familiar Magic's Fuck It, It's Friday post. Today we are going to talk about witching on a budget. This is Lilith, by the way, that's Taz.
Hola.
So, first things first, if you want to save money, herbs is the first place to start.
Yes, it is. And so some of the better places to get herbs. Kitchen herbs are the place to start. You can get kitchen herbs at any grocery store or Walmart. The Dollar Tree is one of my prime sources. They actually have a relatively good selection, at least in some of my bigger Dollar Trees, they do. Um, for anything that you're going to have a spell for, there is a kitchen herb for it.
Yeah, so you don't need to go out and pay through the nose for expensive witchy herbs that you'll never use.
Or you
And,
won't use all of it, you know. I mean, that doesn't mean you can't. And if you want to get an expensive herb or whatever, by all means do it. One of the
but it's not a necessity.
one of the places I actually go for my rare herbs is Herbco. It's Monterey Bay Herbs. They have a huge selection of not your average herbs. That's where I get my dragon's blood and stuff like that from.
Of course, you can get some of your specialty herbs in the
International food aisles.
yes.
They have huge cinnamon sticks in the Mexican food aisle. They have some of the rarer spices in the Asian and Italian food aisles and sections, and international markets also often have less stuff that's not normal.
Or if you want to be frugal and, are willing to put some time and effort into it and wait it out, you can grow your own.
Unless you are like me and have a black thumb.
Well, there's going to be something that you can grow without killing, but
Yeah, apparently I can grow plants that go in my fish tank that require
see?
nothing but my fish. And even
Well,
then, it's an iffy thing if they survive to my tank. So,
well, there is an aquatic plant called Moneywort, so, maybe try that one.
actually, I'm pretty sure that's what I have oodles and boodles of in my tank. That's one of the words. I'll have to look up what it is. Um, it was my fish Christmas present. Don't judge me.
So, if you're witching on a budget, definitely check out your Dollar Tree. Not only the spice and herb section, but you can also get some pretty good candles.
Amazing
Uh,
candles. They have candle holders. They have incense burners. They have incense.
Candle plates.
They have an amazing assortment of jars and vases. I love their jars and vases. And their craft section is my personal heaven.
Yeah, you can even get adult coloring books at the Dollar Tree now.
Yes, you can.
I
That's
picked up one about a month ago that's just desserts, and one of my kids was in love with it so much I actually happened to find another one. They only had the one left, so I got her a replica of it.
that's awesome. I try to go to the Dollar Tree about once a month, but my problem is you have to be careful with the Dollar Tree. Even witching on a budget, I have this tendency to go, oh, it's only $1.
Oh yes. And next thing you know, you're pushing your cart up to checkout, and it's $100.
I've walked out of Dollar Tree a total of 7 times, spending under $20. and I go to the Dollar Tree a lot, so that says something. Um,
I don't know. I've got all kinds of different candle style jars that I'm going to pour some candles in.
Same here, and I etch them um, because I also create vinyl stencils with my Cricut. And never underestimate making your own stuff. One, it's more apt to work for you because you made it with your intentions. Um,
That and it's unique. I mean, who wants?
Someone else's, I mean, okay, I get wanting other people's stuff because sometimes I just don't feel it. And that's coming from the craft queen.
Well, a lot of your witchy material, well, supplies, it's stuff that everyone else is going to have. And, there are some things that I want to be more unique.
Right. I actually have bottles that they were beer bottles, but I got them, empty obviously. And I etched them and I used one of them to keep holy water in.
That's another good point. If you're witching on a budget, recycle. We purposely bought a whole bunch of pumpkin cider at Aldi's before
Oh, they
Thanksgiving.
have those flip top bottles like I have, right?
Right. We got it because one of our guests really, you know, enjoyed pumpkin cider, and I figured my kids might like it too because Destiny is the pumpkin spice queen. And it double purposes because I saved the bottles and I'm going to clean them up and house oils or like holy waters or, that kind of thing in them. They have like that old timey apothecary kind of feel to them for
I
me.
love those jars. I don't have nearly enough. I want a lot more, but unfortunately, where I'm living now, I don't have a whole lot of room and way too many craft supplies.
I will say that part of my herbs are actually in containers from the Dollar Tree.
A lot of my herbs are in containers from the Dollar Tree.
Part of mine are actually in leftover jars from salsa, pickles, spaghetti sauce, that kind of thing.
I don't tend
And
to
I mean,
reuse those mostly because, well, I grew up in the jar hoarder's house and it
oh yes, I have a cabinet full of jars. I've actually got where I'm throwing jars away because I don't have room for them.
and I grew up in a house like that, so yeah. But it's also because I'm I have some serious OCD tendencies.
Understatement.
So I like everything to match and to be I have two types of jars that I like to use, which are the smaller ones that have the flip top lid that I use for like my dragon's blood and my powdered stuff. And then I have the apothecary's type, and I really need to get some scoops for those because I get my hands stuck because I'm special. Um,
But yeah, you can think about recycling stuff as far
yeah,
as like the spaghetti jars and stuff. I'm actually thinking about painting mine, making them a little bit more, witchy.
that'd be awesome. Which you can also get the stuff to do that at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah,
I mean, the craft section of the Dollar Tree, as a craft hoarder, and I fully admit that I am a craft hoarder, is amazing. You can get willow wreaths, the willow branch wreaths, and willow has its own set of magical properties. It's awesome. You can get ribbons and glitter and Mod Podge and paint and even little bitty containers. I use little containers like this all the time.
and of course, you can always hit up the craft section to get stuff for your kids. That way, they're not wasting your more expensive craft supplies.
Yes. You can get seashells at the Dollar Tree or sands. I love getting sand at the Dollar Tree and dyeing it myself.
Oh yeah, and if you want something a little bit more unique, you can get a candle jar, vase, whatever, and decorate it yourself.
Another good place to look is thrift stores.
Thrift stores, antique
I
shops,
will
flea
say I
markets, garage
personally
sales.
avoid Goodwill, but
I do
that's for
too for
personal
personal reasons.
reasons. um, that's a whole nother rant that I won't get into on here. I do go to the Salvation Army and a local thrift store we have here that is actually Mormon owned, but they have a lot of good stuff there. Um,
But like I said, flea markets, garage
oh
sales,
yeah.
antique shops, you're usually going to pay a little bit more for things.
Craigslist, eBay.
See, I've never had any luck with Craigslist. Anything that I found that I wanted on there, the person never responded.
Or okay, we have a local
So,
place, a local buy and sell called KSL. I live in Utah, so yeah.
and of course, there's always your Facebook groups.
Yes. There's Facebook groups. Um, there are places that I personally avoid when it comes to some things. Um,
I will have to say, if you're buying something that is secondhand, for lack of a better term, cleanse the fuck out of it.
oh please, yes. Please refer to our video on selenite.
Yeah, you don't want anyone else's bad juju coming in
No.
your house.
And a lot of times in thrift stores and stuff like that, they come from estate sales, so you don't know what gets attached to weird items. I'm just,
I mean, if you're into like the household of haunted dolls, more power to you. But
yeah, I prefer my dolls, haunted free, and in pop vinyl variety. That's the only doll I can stand. I hate dolls. I have,
and for the record, anything can be a haunted item.
yeah,
Anything.
anything, rings, stuffed animals,
Mirrors,
mirrors. I've had haunted items.
statues,
Oh God, don't remind me of that damn cat. Um, yeah. So
paintings.
paintings. I've had like some seriously weird shit that was like haunted. Like I had a haunted appliance, and you're going, "Mhm, sure you did." But
I'll take you outside in a minute, Coda.
seriously, like there was bad mojo around the damn blender, and it turned on when it was unplugged. Needless to say, I didn't have that damn blender very much longer.
Oh, I hear you. Now, I mean, I'm not going to say that haunted items are necessarily a bad thing, because they're
No,
not.
they're not because spirits
It
are
de-
like people. They come in good, bad, and indifferent. But
it depends on what you are willing to
have in your home.
have in your personal space.
Right. I mean, and when buying stuff like jewelry, always be careful because jewelry, because you wear it so close to you, it picks up your, you know, stuff.
Yes.
Energy, that's the one. Sorry, I'm a little bit sleep deprived right now.
Aren't you always?
Yeah, typically.
Not enough coffee?
Have not had any coffee today. That's my problem.
Who are you?
I've been drinking a lot of tea lately.
I have the coffee and I don't ever drink coffee.
And I had tea, but you hate tea, so
Ew, no. Mm-mm.
weirdo. And you call yourself a Texan.
I just no.
Anyway, back to topic. um, you have the option of making it. Always look for the best deal. And it might take a little time, but unless there's a specific item being made by a specific person that you really, really, really want, look around for the best deal.
Look for, if you're not after a specific item, wait until something calls for you.
Mhm.
Hello, Coda.
Another surprisingly good place to get a lot of witchy related things quite cheap is Amazon. I get a lot of my stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, if you want your general stuff, Amazon is a good bet. If you're looking for something more unique, handcrafted, go to.
Etsy, but beware of Etsy. Just be very careful on Etsy.
You can go to Etsy or, a witch shop that you're
Oh yeah,
familiar with.
yeah. There's local witch shops.
Or there's all kinds of different ones online. But if you're looking for something that's mass marketed, look at Amazon's prices first.
Look at Amazon's prices. Look around because if you're looking for mass-produced stuff like incense burners or charcoal burners or whatever, there's a good chance that you can find it pretty damn cheap.
Oh, yeah.
And if you have the spare money, buy in bulk for certain things. There's certain areas, places where you can get really cheap stuff, but there's like a minimum order. So if you're wanting to get a bunch of stuff, try looking at one of those places that has really, really good prices, but you have to spend like $100 versus spending $100 on a quarter of the items.
Right. So, let's see. Some of the things I personally have as far as witching on a budget besides kitchen herbs. I buy the white candles and the glass jars for a buck at the Dollar Tree.
Me too. Though I have to admit, I really don't like the wax in the white candles.
The wax feels kind of funky, but there are some benefits to them. For one, once the candle is gone, you can reuse the
That there
jar and
is
make your own
that, but
candles.
I tend to melt the wax out of them anymore because it's a paraffin based wax, and paraffin is nasty stuff.
Right. But you can reuse the glass
Yes.
that came with the candle. With those types of candles, I mean, white is used for everything, and they sometimes have them in different colors if you're looking for a specific color. But if they don't have it, you can use white universally.
White and
You
black
can,
are both universal candles. And keep an eye out for seasonal stuff.
oh yes. With those kind of candles, you can take a permanent marker and, write what you're wanting to accomplish. It'll help you focus.
Permanent markers. If you're wanting to have a general use candle, you can even use dry erase markers.
Yeah.
Uh,
And if you use permanent marker and decide you want to remove the permanent marker,
rubbing
there are
alcohol.
ways of doing that. Yeah.
Rubbing
So,
alcohol will take it right off. Or even rubbing on it with your fingers, because I mean, in fairness, nothing really sticks on glass real well unless it says marker just for glass.
and if you don't have a Dollar Tree or can't get to someplace like the Dollar Tree, you don't have to spend buku's money at like Walmart on a pillar candle because I like to have died when I saw the price of my pillar candle that I bought at Walmart that I use for money candles.
How much
You
did
can
you pay?
use that damn candle was like $10. It's ridiculous.
First, well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the. I could make it for about five. So, but then again, I'm paying. I'm not paying wholesale for the wax either. So,
Right. And I mean, it's a decent candle. If I'm going to pay that kind of money for it, I'd rather make it myself.
yeah,
And to spend that on a pillar candle at a big box store is what I found
you can
frustrating.
go to certain. You can get candle molds pretty cheap.
But, if you don't want to get into making your own candles because it's a science all to itself,
It really is, and it can be kind of a pain in the butt and dangerous.
you can use tea lights instead of a big pillar candle or birthday candles.
Yes,
It's
I
it's
use tea lights because, well, for me, they work personally better for me than big candles do as a rule. Uh,
But if it's a quick fix spell, you can use a damn birthday candle.
yeah, and that's something else you can get at the Dollar Tree.
Yeah.
And they
Or
even
any
have
of your
gold and
dollar stores.
silver candles at the Dollar Tree, which I think is cool.
Yeah, I mean, for me, for years, I knew that white could be used universally, but I wanted the silver and the gold candles and, Colors that you can't find everywhere, like black. Black is still a harder candle to buy or find, which is why I buy it in bulk when I do find them.
Well, that would be the seasonal thing. Keep your eyes
Right.
peeled at Halloween and right after Halloween when they're having those big after Halloween sales and all their black candles are on sale. That is when the witches come out of the woodwork.
And if you want green candles, wait until after Christmas.
Right.
Sure, they
Same with
might be
red.
pine scented. They might be pine scented, but
That's good.
that pine is good for money. So if you're wanting to do money spells, buy a whole bunch of them.
hmm Ditto with red candles, Valentine's Day, Christmas.
Yeah, the newest candle that I picked up at the Dollar Tree is black cherry, and I'm gonna do a Valentine spell with it.
Another good option for candles are the menorah candles. They're not, they're the medium size, regular. I use those quite often. And those are pretty cheap and easy to get around Hanukkah.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you're needing candle holders, Dollar Tree for me personally is a better bet. The local Family Dollar doesn't
Big
have
Lots
a
is a
lot.
good place to get mirrors and stuff like that.
Yeah. Hell, at Walmart you can buy those mirrored candle plates. They'll look pretty cool. That you can
I don't
use.
personally go to Walmart that often, so I'm not an expert on Walmart has.
Right.
My husband says every time he steps into Walmart, it eats part of his soul.
Oh, I hear him there. Um, mirrors are used quite a bit. Also, you can get those at the Dollar Tree, dollar stores.
Ribbons are useful.
As far as mirrors, you can go to the cosmetic department and buy like the little compact mirrors.
Yeah, those are great to put in your windows facing out.
Yeah, the window or the mirror I actually have hanging up my window to send negativity back off to away from here. I actually got it at the dollar store. Things do not have to cost a lot of money.
No, they
And,
don't. Um,
we're missing a very big point though. If you're witching on a budget, you don't have to go to the store and buy a damn thing.
no, you don't.
You can
Nature
you can go
has a
outside.
lot of stuff. You get okay, graveyard dirt. There's snow, regular dirt,
Rain,
dirt from banks, and you know,
just normal dirt. Collect some rain. Um, Normal rocks. They don't have to be gemstones and pretty and all that stuff. You can use just normal rocks.
uh huh.
Feathers, pine cones, leaves.
Fun fact: most granite works just fine as a quartz because granite is usually a type of quartz.
Right. Yeah, you can just go for a walk in your neighborhood or a city park or something.
You'll find a lot of your herbs on the side of the road, wildflowers.
If you're looking for a wand and you haven't found the one that speaks to you or one that you can afford yet, grab a damn stick.
Right. Pine cones. If you live in an area that has pine trees, I mean, I
Yeah,
have
I
a
went and I
giant
collected.
pine tree in my backyard. So,
Well, I went and collected all of my pine cones at the city park.
um, do some searches on what the wild plant, not the dried and ground and stuff that you're going to get from Mountain Rose Herbs or Herbco looks like, but the actual plant, and you'll be surprised what you find in the wild. Yarrow is a really common herb that grows
And,
thistles and
if you're a closeted witch, we'll say, you do not have to have the herbs or the candles or the incense.
the most
You
important part of being a witch is the intention.
You can do it all in meditation.
You don't have to have anything at all. My mother knew a witch who banished a very evil entity with a Twizzler. It's all about intent.
I mean, you can, as long as the power and the intent is there.
Everything
That's all
else
you
is
need.
really just window dressing. And while it might help you focus, because some people need that to help them focus their energies, I do need certain things for certain things, you know.
It does help going through the motions or having the visual representations and
For me, it's for the visualization because I suck at visualization like bad.
but you do not have to have those things.
No, you really don't.
So if you're not comfortable sharing your witchiness with your spouse or whatever situation you're in, you don't necessarily have to have like the full blown witchy cabinet and altar and
Oh
all of the
hell,
supplies and
I
stuff.
God knows I don't. I have a shelf in my craft room. Well, okay, I have three shelves in my craft room, but
Well, I have my witchy cabinet and I have like my living room altar and what I call my mini altar. I've got my pentacle uh, crocheted altar cloth
right.
in there, and but I don't use my altars very much. They're
I
just
don't have an altar because I
there.
don't have room for an altar. Most of my free space in my house is taken up with gaming stuff from my husband, art supplies, books, aquariums because I'm a fish freak. You know,
Well, most of my flat
stuff.
surfaces they get covered up quickly with
Oh yeah, yeah. You should see our. Well, actually, you shouldn't ever see our living room table right now. It's kind of scary.
Well, I was trying to clean off my the top of my entertainment center to have like a more of a working altar. But right now it's got some of my husband's tools up there because he hasn't put them up, and a puzzle that's still waiting to be mod podged, and
Right.
candle making supplies. The list
I
goes on.
I have two totes underneath my kitchen table that have candle making and soap making supplies, and I have several more totes in my garage, and I have four bookshelves in my craft room that is just full of stuff
Right.
because I'm a crafter. And one of my biggest fears is that I will die and my husband will sell my craft stuff for what I said it cost.
Well, I'm a yarn hoarder, so a good part of my space is yarned.
Yeah, so I have my card making supplies and my soap making supplies and my candle making supplies and my, cricket and vinyl supplies and wreath make I there is not a craft that I've met that I have not tried, I don't think.
Oh, I can think of a few I haven't tried, but we're getting off topic. The point is, if you don't have the space or the money or
Yeah.
whatever your situation is, you don't necessarily have to have all of the fun
No,
witchy
I mean
stuff.
there are those that are like me, I want to have this stuff. But I don't need it, and so I get it when I have the money extra that I'm willing to spend. But I'm very careful about what I'm willing to spend it on. And if I can get it cheaper, I'm anal retentive about getting the best price possible.
So shop around, look at nature. I mean, it's earth-based religion. Nature is your best bet. And if you can't find what you're looking for there, shop around, go to your Dollar Tree.
And honestly, get to know other witches. A lot of witches are really good on bartering and trading.
Yeah, if you have a certain craft or thing that you collect or do, or talk to other witches and see what they'd be willing to trade.
Right, because me and Lilith, because we live in two different parts of the world, I live in an area that currently has a foot and a half of snow on the ground. Lilith lives in an area that sees snow like once a decade.
Texas, we don't do winter.
If
No.
there's a white powdery substance in Texas, you can guarantee it's probably not snow.
Right?
So, I mean, I'm collecting snow for her, which, I mean, obviously it will be water by the time it gets there, but it has its own magical purpose, and there's local stuff. I can get, magpie feathers or whatever. I can get certain things here that she can't get there, and she can get things there that she can send to me. She sent me graveyard dust because,
And her tarot bag.
yes, and my beautiful, beautiful tarot bag. And I sent her a goblet that I ate for her. And so, it's look at your skill set, see what you can trade for, and look online for other witches that are also looking for something that maybe you have in your area that they don't have and would like to have.
And the last point that I want to make before we wrap this up, because my husband is calling me, and we all know
Oh, yeah.
how children can be. Well, he's almost off work, so he's probably wanting to know if there's anything we need from the store or what have you. But
Right.
the last point, if I can remember it now, that I went on another ramble. Oh, yep, I'm getting old.
Oh, kidding. I mean, no, honey, you're only
Hey,
20, 25.
20, 23 according to my kids,
Oh,
because it went down a year.
God.
Yeah,
You have your kids duped.
I'm telling you. I don't know. I lost it. It ran away. So I think that's gonna wrap up this video before I forget anything else.
Right. And we will be filming more videos next week. If there's anything you want to know about, or if you have any ideas on how you can save money being a witch, we would love to see it in the comments below.
Hey, I know what it was now.
What?
If you don't have the supplies to do a spell or what have you, put the witchy effort into what you're cooking for dinner that night.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true. Witchy cooking is always a good idea.
Yeah, so there you have it. We hope that you have a blessed Friday and
Blessings.
safe weekend.
And
We'll see you next week.
bye.